Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Military Surplus Firearm Collecting. Today we're going to do another little story time with Mike B that actually has a little lesson, and it's going to be in regard to trading up, which if you don't know what that means, I'll explain it in a second in a practical way that actually happened. So, story time. So this was, I think, around 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. And Mosin PU snipers, Mosin got 9130 PU snipers, like the real ones, we're going for about $450 to $500 from like places like Aim Surplus and various other vendors. But so anyway, I decided to actually take the dive and purchase one. So I had it. It was a Laminate Stock. It was actually pretty cool, but it was one of those things where I got it and I was kind of disappointed in it, and I was expecting a lot more than what it was. So it was like, well, maybe I'll just hang on to it for a little bit and sell it. I don't really shoot it that much, and it had some problems with the scope. That's what I remember too. And I tried to repair the scope. I ended up getting a new piece of glass from Ukraine. It was a process, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that I had to shim it and all that stuff, and I was being a whiny bitch about it. Anyway, it was cool enough, but then there was somebody that actually went on gun boards back when it was actually a lot better, I think. Somebody went on gun boards and they posted in the want to sell, want to trade section that they wanted to trade a 1943 or 1942 SG Saginaw CMP M1 carbine for a Mosin PU sniper, like a legit one. And I was sitting there going, wow, I don't have to pay $1,000 for an M1 carbine. I just paid, $450, and with shipping and all that stuff, it'll be about $500. I was like, hey, I've got this. There's a problem wrong with the scope, but it's a laminate stock, so it's a little bit, more uncommon to find a PU with a refurb laminate stock, et cetera, et cetera. So we ended up doing the trade, and I got an M1 carbine for about $500, and it came with the original CMP certificate. So obviously it's post-war updated, but I got one of the rifles that I wanted to get for a long time for about half of what they were going for at that point, which was awesome. So the moral of the story is, be patient. Like I said in the last episode, be very patient. It does pay off. And trading up is something that can improve your collection, and it's really fun to do. It's fun it's just as satisfying as finding, one of your dream guns out in the wild at like a gun shop or something. It's like, okay, well, what are the odds that I had exactly what this person is looking for? And to them, what I have is worth more than it is to me. And to me, what they have is worth more than it is to them. It's a perfect trade. It's so much fun. That's another really fun part of the hobby is trading up. And for both of us, we both got exactly what we wanted. It was mutually beneficial. But I technically made about, depending on how you look at it, $300 to $500 instantly like that by just trading up. Now, I'm probably never going to sell this gun. Never say never. All you Bieber believers out there, never say never. But I'm probably never going to sell this just because they're so damn expensive. And I enjoy the hell out of shooting this little guy. This is a great rifle. I have to actually go out and make a bunch of videos this summer with this. I promise you I will. I gotta get some good magazines though. These things are shit. They don't feed well at all. Anyway, kind of got off the rails there. I'll wrap this video up and keep it pretty short. Just a little tip is be patient, and just because you have something that you don't necessarily think is valuable, don't be in a rush to offload it unless you actually need the money. So be very patient, because things like that do happen. You'll find people either locally, arms list, which is a lot of scamming, but be careful with that. But local stuff that you can actually do a face-to-face with, or online, like gun boards, forums, things like that. You just talk to people, and it's like, oh well, this rifle or this pistol that's been sitting here that's basically a paperweight to me means something to this person, and they have, exactly like what I just said. It's mutually beneficial. So that's another really good tip for collectors that are just getting into the hobby, which is the point of me making this series. Whether you're intermediate, advanced, beginning, you've probably experienced this if you've been doing it for a little bit longer. And if you got any cool stories like this, you traded up, when everybody was happy, throw them down in the comments and see what we got to work with. I'm making the series for that, and I'm not an expert on any of these things. I'm just a collector that's been doing this for a while, and kind of wanting to educate people on kind of some tips of the trade and the hobby itself, and how it's actually really fun, and some things maybe to avoid so you don't screw up like I did, learn from my mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So that's the whole point of this series. I hope you're enjoying it. Whoops, I hit the camera stand. And if you do enjoy this, please consider supporting the channel. Patreon is a great way to do that. The link to that is in the description. It's $1 a month. $5 a month or more gets you into my Discord server, which is pretty fun, I think. And we have some good conversations on there. a lot of information exchanged, and it's a good time. It supports the channel in a way like I like having physical items to educate people about. I have a passion for all things basically military surplus, and it allows me to actually get the item to make videos on educational content. I do a lot of helmet ballistic tests. I want to get into body armor ballistic tests, which, as you know, are not cheap. And crowdfunding really helps that because I can only afford to do so much content paid for out of pocket. So my patrons, past and present, are awesome. They've allowed me to get some really cool things to educate you guys on. So just something to consider. If you can't do that, I totally understand, and it's totally fine. I just really do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, if I missed something or you don't understand something, I'll try to answer them. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fellow collector that has been doing this for a few years. And I finally decided to make this series that I was probably going to make years ago, but didn't have enough experience. Now I think I'm okay enough to make basic videos like this. But let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. I really do. And we'll see you on the next episode of Military Surplus Firearm Collecting.